capital is king, and JAHMYR Gibbs just got that draft capital. Wow. What? Hold on. First of all, what are the Lions doing? They've got DeAndre Swift, who I guess is dead now. David Montgomery, who they just signed, and now JAHMYR Gibbs.
Do you think they're going to trade up for Hendon Hooker later, or are they? Does that mean they're riding with Jared Goff?
I don't know. No, I think they're riding with Goff, but regardless,
JAHMYR Gibbs should now be going over JSN in rookie drafts. I think
unless JSN
goes right here,
and he could, and we're going to probably find out while we're on camera. But Gibbs is that. I mean, wow, this has become instantly
boosted his
the
draft
top
stock.
6 picks of these first 2023 rookie draft picks. This class is as good as we thought it was. I mean,
this is unbelievable.
From a fantasy perspective, this is unbelievable, and I cannot believe they just made this pick. Now, JAHMYR Gibbs. We didn't really have a lot of questions about JAHMYR Gibbs. I personally have been the highest on JAHMYR Gibbs out of all of us. I loved his film. His route tree is ridiculous. He has great twitch and open space. He is absolutely lethal, and when you translate what he did from a production standpoint last year at Alabama to fantasy points, he was elite, and I think he has the potential to be elite.
Yeah, now, the graphic on screen just said 146 all-purpose yards per game.
That is, I mean,
the guy ran a 4.36.
Yeah,
at the combine.
He's a freak, and I get why he got this draft capital. And it was going to be very landing spot dependent. And I'm TBD if I like this landing spot or not, because I think he's going to have to get enough. He's going to have to get enough work to be fantasy productive. Now, you would think investing the 12th overall pick in a guy, you're going to give him that work. And I think you pair him with David Montgomery, and I think that's a very nice pairing, actually. So this has potential. That being said, for him to go 12th overall as a running back, 4 picks behind Bijan Robinson. They are separated by 4 picks. Hot take, check.
Yeah.
Wow.
So remember, I've said this a few times over this offseason going into the rookie draft, but I said that a lot, again, like we've said before, a lot of the reasons that people weren't high on JAHMYR Gibbs is because of his size, because he's not going to get a full down workload. His snap percentage is going to be limited probably to 50-ish, up a little bit higher than that percentage-wise. But Austin Eckler and Aaron Jones were 2 of the greatest examples. And when we said they have that elite receiving skill set, they're very good at what they do, and teams are going to want to invest in them heavily in the future. And I said, instead of looking for JAHMYR Gibbs to be an outlier in being like Eckler and Aaron Jones, look at Eckler and Aaron Jones as those new trend setters where future teams in the NFL are going to want to invest in those types of running backs more. And I think this just proved it. I think this absolutely proved my point, where these are the types of running backs that NFL teams want to look for with the new way that these offenses in the NFL are playing and scheming and doing, offensively. I just think this is going to be incredible from a fantasy perspective. I don't know what this is going to look like, especially in the moment right now. We're going to have to look into this more, but goodness, this is awesome.
Right now, what we have is the draft capital. And with this draft capital, would you agree that with as muddy as 8 to 20 is in Dynasty running back rankings, that JAHMYR Gibbs has to be a top 12 Dynasty running back right now?
Absolutely.
And he's in the A tier now in the rookie draft.
My gosh.
He moved up a tier.
And that's the thing is, like, I keep thinking like, oh yeah, but he's small, and there were all these question marks. They just used the 12th overall pick on him.
He's got he's got the 29.5 BMI, right? Which is like
Breece Hall
threshold.
But Breece Hall went in the 2nd round last year. 2 years ago, Jonathan Taylor went in the 2nd round.
3 years ago,
yeah. I mean, this guy, and yes, running backs are different now, but he just got the 12th overall pick when it comes to draft capital. That is, they have to use him. Right?
I would think they will. And look, my comp for him has always been more of an Aaron Jones. He's not as physical as Aaron Jones, and he's not as big as Aaron Jones. However,
he's much faster.
When he's faster and in open space, he reminds me of Aaron Jones. And the way they used him, man, I mean, they throwing him out on those screens and just letting him work in open space. Man, if the Lions use him like that with Amon-Ra St. Brown already, I mean, Jameson Williams, holy smokes, man. They could be dangerous. JAHMYR Gibbs can be a game wrecker in the NFL. He can play 50% of snaps, and he can score elite fantasy points. He can be that efficient, and I think that's how he's going to be used. I think with his frame, obviously the concern is going to be durability. How long is he going to last in the NFL? And all of these concerns can be smoothed over when he's getting 50% snap share every year, and he's getting the majority of his work like he should in the receiving game out of the backfield. The Lions add another dimension to their offense, and honestly,
Maybe someone who can stay on the field.
I cannot believe that they took him here, and the Packers did not take JSN.
That was good pick.
Yeah.
That was a very good pick.
So
I'm sorry.
No, I know it's hard not to react. We've got the
Lucas
draft
Van
live.
Ness.
So, yeah, in terms of his first year production wise, this could be all over the place. I think this is going to have to be more of a wait and see. But like ballpark wise, for me, I would expect more 11 to 15 points per game from JAHMYR GIBBS. I could absolutely see it being 8 to 11 or 8 to 15. Honestly, I think there's a really wide set of outcomes here. Like I could see them easing him in. Like how are they going to use DeAndre Swift? How much
is Swift going to get traded?
That's the part I'm worried about.
That would be great for Swift too.
But
like,
I mean,
it could be a win-win here.
Again, since they spent the 12th overall pick on a running back, they have a lot of team needs on the defensive side of the ball, especially at corner. If they have a guy that they really like in the second round, they may use DeAndre Swift to be able to trade up or even just get a pick straight up for him, because I mean that would be really beneficial for another team theoretically.
I mean, that's the thing. Just 3 years ago, DeAndre Swift was the 203. So he was essentially a late first round pick anyways.
Yeah. Swift, I don't think is dead as a player. He obviously has his concerns injury wise, but from a fantasy perspective, if he stays in Detroit, that really sucks. I mean, he's got to be almost irrelevant, which is why I think
they have to be planning to use Gibbs.
Which means they have to be planning to trade DeAndre Swift.
I really hope so.
They've got to trade him.
All right, a lot to play out here, but just a crazy pick and a crazy start to this 2023 NFL draft. And for Dynasty players, wow, what a set of outcomes so far. We are here breaking it down. We're obviously going to come.
Insane.
Yeah, this is insane. We're going to come back to you here in just a minute with our next pick. We thought it was going to be JSN to the Packers, but it's not. The Patriots just traded back, it looks like, so maybe it'll be a minute before we're up, or maybe the Steelers. All right, let's see here it goes. All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Make sure you like this video. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe as well. We've got draft content coming out all night. All right, we'll see you guys in a few minutes.